I have a quick little video today about dichotomy and connection. And dichotomy just means two-sided. There's two sides to most things in life. There's good, there's evil, there's light, there's dark, there's white, there's black. Everything is in a duality. And I think what happens is our identities get stuck in I am this side of the coin, so I can never be that. But I think there's sometimes a time for that. And an exception of this is caring about what other people's perception of you is. What do people think of me? And I think we're largely ruled by that, especially as we're in elementary school, going through high school. We're largely ruled by I have to act a certain way in order to influence the collective perception of those around me. I'm so concerned about the perception around me that I have to act a certain way. And as we mature and grow, hopefully some of us can grow out of this. Some people never do. They get so fixated on the perception, what other people think of me. And I think there is a time and there are boundaries and there is a harmony that we must carry ourselves in which it does make sense to care about what other people think about us. But we have to be ourselves. We can't care so much about what other people think of us that we can't express ourselves and who we are and let out our inner child and our inner playfulness because of fear of judgment. And so I just and I want to kind of apply this to something. I think one of the things that is causing so much human malfunction is our footwear. And I think from an early age, kids are wearing Air Force Ones, they're wearing these funky shoes with huge soles and even different athletic shoes that are marketed to improve performance are actually deterring performance and disconnecting us from our body. And this brings us to the theme of connection. And I think connection is extremely important. I think being present is extremely important, but there's also a time to detach. So there's a dichotomy in this relationship as well, where be present if the incoming messages are positive and trying to influence a positive influence onto the reception. But you can detach from any messages that you want. You can avoid these triggering messages if you learn how to be present and also to detach. Detach from what does not serve you, attach to what does serve you. And when it comes to footwear, attach some good shoes to your feet with a thin, flat sole. Try different brands. Different brands work for everyone. If you're under 200 pounds, you're probably not going to have much of an adaptation process. If you're heavy or very disconnected from your body, you have to treat it like exercise. You don't just wear them all day or go for a 6-mile run. Start with 5 minutes, walk around the block, see how you feel. You're going to have to build up your feet muscle, your foot muscles in a lot of instances for the people that are disconnected. There was a little bit of soreness when I first had it, but it will heal you. Just because there's pain there doesn't mean that it's the end all. I can't do this. Go back into fear mode, go back into disconnection mode. And there are definitely anatomical exceptions where people just probably need to have a certain type of footwear. But in general, the large portion of the population that become fixated on cushy soles and comfortable soles and insoles and custom-made insoles and all that stuff, that is actually serving to make your foot weaker. The same ways that taking a Tums pill is actually making your stomach weaker. There's these things that are treated as pills for ails that are actually sending you in the wrong direction. You're borrowing tomorrow's health today, and you're making tomorrow's health exponentially decline. So, this is a weird connection I have here. Footwear and perception of others, but they're both very important, and I've intermingled them somehow in this video, and I think it's something that you should give attention to. And my challenge for you on this video is try to connect with other people and do the bare minimum. You can do it in a car, and the way I like to look at it is I live close to Padre Stadium at Petco Park, and the best baseball players in the league, if you're hitting 300 or up, you're crushing it. If you're under 300, if you're at 200, you probably still have a job if you can do other things well. But treat your connection to others like those baseball players do their at-bats. Don't fear failure, and don't allow failure to prevent you from trying to connect the next time. You have to go get up to the plate, and you have to swing that bat. And that can be as easy to start as just waving your hand at someone when you drive by. That small messaging system is going to influence positive change in our community. That small effort to connect. And I live downtown, and everyone is extremely disconnected due to the conditioning, partially because of the numbers of homeless people. People are just very in their shell, very afraid, everyone's got headphones on, everyone's laser focused, and I'm like that too sometimes, and that's okay. So you need to have both. You don't always have to do that, but when you feel like you have the capacity to give it a shot, just try waving. Try giving someone a genuine compliment, and try to be genuine. They say that when the voice trails up at the end of a sentence, it's fakeness, and it could be fakeness in an effort to people please and make people like you, but try to be genuine. When your voice ends, it should be registering down or neutral. If it's up and you just have this like inflated voice, hi, how are you doing? That is, at its core, you're trying to potentially do something kind, but it's fake. So find your genuine core. Do it when you have the capacity to do it. Make a small connection. Give someone a genuine compliment, a compliment that actually lights them up inside, and you really made that part of their day. Or some compliments can completely boost someone's self-esteem perpetually into the future. One compliment can change someone's life. And just make an effort to connect, make an effort to be positive with people, and establish boundaries. And if someone's not receptive to it, and don't let it affect you. And sometimes I will eloquently put them in their place and try to open their eyes to their behavior. But a lot of times it's much easier just to shrug it off and ignore it. It's the ego in me that's making me do that. I feel like this person is disrespecting me on some level, so I go into Karen mode and try to check them. And I can do it tastefully, but still it's probably unnecessary, and it's something I need to work on. But at the same time, the dichotomy of it is, if I don't do something to correct it, then they're not going to learn. So there's a two-sided coin in most scenarios. So play around with it. Get yourself connected to the ground first and foremost. That's your only feedback. Get yourself some minimalist shoes. You can get Merrell shoes on Amazon for like $20 or $30, and you can experiment with that. And then you can start, and if you like them and you notice a difference, your knee joints may stop bothering you as much, your hip joints may come back into function a little bit. You can start working up into the more popular brands. You can reach out to me if there's a brand that you really want to experiment with. I've tried a few of them, but I would definitely research that and play with that first. And so the challenge here is get yourself some minimalist shoes, some zero drop flat shoes. Some examples would be Vivo Barefoot or Zero or Tolos or Merrill, and just start trying to get 3 out of 10 waves back. Start there. You can get 3 out of 10, you're batting 300, you got a major league contract. And that's all for today. Thanks for hearing out my rant. If you made it this far, I'll check you later out.